Business has been social since the beginning of time. I live in California now, but I grew up in a suburb of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Years ago, I was visiting my late mother, and we went to the same market I used to frequent when I was a child. After greeting Mom, one of the shopkeepers looked at me, paused, and then beamed. The boy who went to college and moved to Silicon Valley. He pulled out a crate for us to sit on and poured coffee from a thermos he kept under the counter. That is business as a relationship. No marketing, no filters, just human relationships. Contrast that with this.
I am incredibly excited with the leverage of synergy of our innovative technology propelling us forward.
This is business as marketing. We started using corporate speak as a shield. We thought sounding professional made us look competent. But in 2026, when everyone has a world-class professional writer in their pocket, that polished language is just white noise. Gen Z grew up seeking less filtering. The shift from search and social media to new forms of digital interaction in the next decade offers the opportunity for them to push us back towards the shopkeeper's coffee when trust is the currency that matters. Today, we will look at the importance of authenticity for individual well-being, to good leadership, and to business success in the future. Welcome to AI Skillpivot, a careerzcast series preparing you for the adoption of AI in the workplace. Authenticity at work and the end of corporate speak. In the information economy, we use corporate speak to talk to our colleagues. Companies use marketing speak to talk to customers. That type of language is seen as proxy for competence. If you sound professional, people assume you know what you're doing. Today, I'll provide some actionable advice to eliminate that shield and increase authenticity in your life, your work environment, and in company messaging. To understand authenticity, we have to look at the architecture of the human mind. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, gave us a perfect map for that. Most people think being authentic means no filters. I bring all of myself too and behave the same way in any context. That's actually transparency, the different concept of using no filters between your identity and your behaviors. So, for example, showing up to work in pajamas or talking to Auntie Mary the same way you talk to your friends indicate you don't use filter behaviors. As we'll see, pure transparency at work can be a disaster. Authenticity is different. It is about congruency. It's about alignment. Each of us have a set of personal values and ethics that define our core identity, the real me. Then, we have multiple personas or masks. They are filters we use to adapt our behaviors to fit social norms of the environment we are in. So most of us have different masks we wear at home, in the office, when socializing with friends, for example. Personal authenticity is about congruency, or the alignment of your appropriate behaviors with your core values. When we are allowed to do that, we feel comfortable, adjusted, and at peace. When we have to behave in ways that contradict our values, we feel anxious and unauthentic. For example, an otherwise honest individual forced to oversell the benefits of a product or distort data at work because that's how marketing works will never feel comfortable, no matter how much money they make. The problem is that traditional companies have attempted to create strong cultures where every employee behaves consistently with company values. For example, a company can value hard work as part of their culture, or it can value customer centricity or process orientation. When we go too far, we force employees to embody a persona that hides their real personal core. We call this the professional persona, which is such a thick mask that makes people feel fake, like in the previous video clip. When AI is used with that mindset, it is used to write the perfect professional email, the flawless presentation. If companies can hire people whose core value match the company, then employees will be happy. Value behavior alignment can be extended to companies. for business success, how they interact with customers in the marketplace should match their internal values and culture. Understanding the concept of authenticity is the first step for us to seek a more authentic life and more human business. Being authentic in 2026 means letting the light from your core values bleed through the mask. It is about making sure your behavior and your values are in alignment. The pivot: be the authentic leader. The concept of authenticity has always been crucial for individual well-being and business success. So why are we talking about it in the context of a skill pivot triggered by technology? The answer to that question is that, as discussed in the last episode, we live in an attention economy where a large portion of the value capture in the market has to do with the amount of people's attention one can control and retain. AI and LLM technology, if well used, empowers people to get access to information and knowledge, freeing their attention to climb the value stack. There is also a generational change in progress. The youngest Gen Z are starting high school and the oldest ones are in their late 20s. This is a generation that grew up seeking for more authenticity and less need to adapt behaviors to social norms. The emerging Gen Z consumer majority will demand authenticity from brands and reject marketing speak. Companies will have to learn to influence with authenticity. Marketing will be less about projecting values and capturing attention, and more about let happy customers bring their friends to the business, as it had been before mass media. The emerging Gen Z workforce will demand work environments with more tolerance for diverse behaviors and reject corporate speak. They want to wear a thinner mask. In 2026, we live in a particular moment when baby boomers and Gen X leaders are trying to tighten corporate control over culture and employee behavior, but the secular trend is for more flexibility and diversity. Let's now discuss the concrete actions you can take today to prepare for what's to come. The individual playbook. The individual framework for authenticity is to be aware of your core values and your behavior alignment with them. Use AI as a formal content helper and knowledge summarization tool. Your actions are: stop using AI to pasteurize your language. If you write an honest email and then ask an LLM to make it sound professional, you're deleting your human watermark. Some people feel anxious at work all the time and they don't even know the reason. Check on disconnects between value and behaviors. Change the culture, not yourself. If you are a Gen Z, I want you to watch the next episode and become a strategic rebel who masters the system and change it from the inside out. The leader playbook. As a leader at work, embrace vulnerability and practice authenticity. In an AI-driven workplace, your errors and your quirks are the watermarks that show a human is still in charge. Your actions are: drop communication templates. Learn to communicate more naturally without hiding behind jargon. AI doesn't know why it is saying what it is saying. Share the reasons for your decisions. That builds trust and make you more human. And in a world of automated responses, being present in the moment and giving someone your human attention is the ultimate leadership power move. The business playbook. For companies, we need to go back to the time where marketing is about letting happy customers tell their friends how good you are. So the actions are: stop spinning, exaggerating, hiding information. Bring more authenticity to your communication. Customers can see through your words. Stop bombarding consumers with marketing speak. Nobody's listening to that. And speak like your customers and empower them to be your influencers and brand ambassadors. Marcio's career insight. When I was a senior executive, I managed hundreds of people. I learned a hard lesson about being a leader who is also in a position of power. You cannot demand authenticity from a team. If an employee feels they will be judged for showing their real me, perhaps because they look different or think differently, for example, someone who brings creativity to work might be seen as undisciplined in a culture that's process-oriented. They wear a thick mask to survive. Authenticity is a gift employees give to companies only when they feel safe. As a leader, your job isn't to tell people to be authentic. Your job is to demonstrate authenticity and create a work environment where they can be themselves without fear. My advice: start by taking off your mask first. When you show your human edges, you give your team permission to do the same. And remember that authenticity is not necessarily behaving any way you want, but moderating behavior according to the collective culture without contradicting your own core values. Each of us must exercise authenticity to the extent we can and be open to let our peers do the same. Conclusion and call to action. The end of corporate speak is not a loss. It is a return to what should not have changed. We will go back to the shopkeeper's coffee, where business is personal again. In the next episode, we are going deeper. We will discuss the strategic rebel, how the new Gen Z leaders can master the system and use these skills to change your organization from the inside out. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a leader who is stuck in corporate speak. And I see you in episode 5 of AI Skill Pivot.